Now, in order to pass this act, there was negotiation between the federal government, who is the original Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau.
Just watch me.
And the provinces. Pierre Trudeau wanted the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, so those rights to equality, to not be discriminated against on protected grounds, to your language rights, all of those things to be entrenched within the Constitution. All laws must comply with the Constitution. So if the province is making a law or the federal government is making a law, the Constitution sits above all of those. And so if the charter is entrenched in the Constitution, that means that if the province makes a law that conflicts with that charter, it can be struck down. The provinces were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. If you're gonna put the charter into the Constitution, that limits what I can do. That limits the laws that I can make. Because we wanted to pass this Constitution Act, Patriot Canada, a compromise was made in Section 33. So the reason Section 33 exists is because we said, all right, we are going to entrench the Charter of Rights and Freedoms in the Constitution. The Charter of Rights and Freedoms is a part of our Constitution. But we're going to add this other section in the Act that says provinces can sometimes infringe on constitutional rights if it is something that is in their locum of control. So Section 33 was born, the Notwithstanding Clause, that would allow provincial governments to pass laws even though they breach the charter. And there's a few important conditions on this. You have to expressly state that you're invoking Section 33. So you say this law is, we acknowledge it's infringing on the right to peaceful protest, and you identify all of the rights that you're infringing on. The next thing is that the law has a sunset clause of 5 years, which means this isn't in place forever. We're going to look at this again in 5 years. It'll just expire or need to be renewed at that time. There are only certain charter rights that you can invoke Section 33 on. So you can't infringe on mobility rights. You can't infringe on, I think I have them all listed here, language rights, Aboriginal status. Those are, you can't invoke Section 33 and override those with a law. But you can invoke Section 33 with Sections 2, and then I think it's 7 through 15.1. You don't have to know that. But there are certain rights, like the right to a peaceful protest, that you can infringe on. What if a government uses Section 33 in a way that the public disagrees with? What would happen, do you think, at the next election?
They wouldn't get voted in again?
Yeah. And so one of the protective factors around Section 33, that was, why the federal government allowed that compromise, was there that, like, look, if the provincial government wants to go crazy with this, they're going to suffer the consequences of that. The public's not going to trust them. They're not going to get voted in again. All of that to say, if you do not agree that they were used in a way that you would want them to be used, the recourse for that is to vote in a different government next time. And that's your constitutional right.